Hi people, it's me, Anja, my pronouns all she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new reading vlog. For those who don't know, Oathbound is the third book in the Legendborn quartet, and it's one of my most anticipated 2025 new releases. And when I read Legendborn and Bloodmarked last summer, I happened to be on vacation, so I was already creating a reading vlog, so I decided to continue the tradition when this book came out, and then when book 4 comes out, whenever that will be, I will also make a reading vlog for that book as well. But anyway, here we are. So, this video will contain spoilers since this is my live reaction to reading the book for the first time. Second of all, my theories for this book. I don't really have many, like for the plot or the love triangle or anything like that. As for the love triangle, I think that the series will end with Bree choosing Nick over Sel, just because, like, from a writer's perspective, I think that she will choose Nick, but from a reader's perspective, I want her to choose Sel. Does that make any sense? As I grow as a writer and as a reader, I tend to see things from a writer's perspective as well as from a reader's perspective when I think about the story and the pacing and the structure and the purpose of like the characters and what they symbolize to each other as well as to themselves and the point of it all. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Like when I'm reading a book, I think of like this diagram that I learned in the 5th grade about like falling action and rising action and how that plays into like the structure and the pacing of the book itself. And then I apply that to each book in the series and how it applies to the overarching like arc and everything. Anyway, it's been a really long time since I've read a sequel in a series like this. So for those who don't know, Legendborn, the first book in the series, is a YA urban fantasy following a young black main character who discovers that her mother's death is related to Arthur magic. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think the series is so good. I'm rather late to the fandom and everything, but I'm so excited to start this book. So let's get started. Hi, so my update is that I'm very much in the beginning of this book so far, and there's so many other character perspectives, like explaining what's happening while Bree is with the Shadow King, and I have no idea like how much time has passed. Although I'm very grateful for like the timestamps at the beginning of all of these new character perspectives. But if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't really care about the perspectives of these other characters. I care about the plot and what's happening, but I don't really care about the who. Does that make any sense? I don't really know if it does, but like I'm excited to get back to Bree. Like, can we get back to her, please, and what's going on with her? I understand that it's important, again, for the structure, for the events, for the plot, for the context, to explain, like, what's happening while Bree is with him and everything. But personally, I don't really care about these other characters and everything. I don't really know or care about, like, what they're thinking or why they're thinking. I want to get back to Bree. That's the real tea. Hi people, so I'm like a fourth through this book so far, and I will say of the 3 new character perspectives, we have William, Mariah, and Sel's mom so far. And I will say, earlier I said that the other characters just serve as vessels for me, and I'm just learning about the plot and the context and the background through them, but I don't really care about them as people, which is kind of true, although I'm kind of interested in Mariah so far, just because I want to know about Alice's whereabouts, and I'm interested about Sel's whereabouts, and I think it's cool how Nick kind of like called out the hypocrisy of the order and everything, but I'm way more interested in Mariah and Alice and Sel's mom and Sel than I am in Nick and Larkin and William and that side of it. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. So I'll see you soon. So I'm at this part in the book and I'm confused. Is Bree confirming that she's pansexual? Also, I think it's really interesting, like, how normalized the queer representation is in this book. The fact that Zoe is transgender and Zoe and Elijah are both queer. I was about to say that I don't really care about Zoe and Elijah as characters, but now that I've been introduced to them more and more, I do like them. And I'm interested into how, like, I don't know, how the author is humanizing all these different characters across the spectrum of morality, because my first impression of them was like, oh, they're just like the demon's lackeys, they're evil, they're weird, they're not really here to do anything. But now I care about them. Not necessarily because of the queer reveal, but just because they're probably in similar positions to Bree. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm almost halfway through this book now, and I know that there are some fans whom I'm sure have been waiting for romance to happen between William and Larkin this entire time, but for me, frankly, from a writer's perspective, it's cute, it's well-paced, it's kind of whatever. From a reader's perspective, I don't really care. You know what I mean? The real bread and butter of this book to me is Bree, Mariah, Alice, Sel, and Nick. Those are the characters that I really care about the most. I wish that all of the William perspectives were in Nick's perspective instead. You know what I mean? I also feel like I'm not going to enjoy this book as much as the first two books, and maybe it's because I read Legendborn and Bloodmarked back to back. I'm not completely sure, but like right now, my rating is between a 3 and a 4, and it might end up at a 3. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm so glad that now Zoe and Mariah and Nick and Bree are all in the same room. It's like when characters from different universes like meet each other, you know, like Avengers Endgame style. Anyway, I've realized that I don't care about William's perspective in the first half of this book because I don't care about the politics in this book, like the relationships between the Order and the Regents and the Root Crafters and everything. I don't really care about the different organizations of magic, although I do love the magic itself and the history and some of the characters that I mentioned earlier. I like those characters the most. I cannot wait for Alice to wake the fuck up and confront all of these people. She'll love Zoe and Mariah and everyone together. And yeah, by the way, as for the Nick and Bree ship, it's not that I dislike them necessarily, I just don't ship them. I see their potential for sure. I understand why the fans will love all of these scenes with them in the hotel room together. You know what I mean? But for me personally, I just wish Sel was here. And it's not that I wish Sel was more, like, human-like, because I like him in his monster state. And whatever state he'll be in, I like him, and I need to see more of him. Where is he in this book? I need to see more of him in his own perspective and not just from his mother's perspective. I hope that we don't get to see William's perspective again because I don't care for it, like I just said. So anyway, that's where we're at. I'll be honest with you guys, if Nick dies, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Nick is the type of character, type of person for me that I'm just like, if he dies, I don't care. Bring Alice back to life. Where is Alice? Bring Alice back to life. If Nick dies, I truly don't care. Where is Sel and Alice? Where is Alice? I'm annoyed. Where's Alice? Anyway, that's my update. Hi. So I finished the book, and I think I'm gonna rate it 3 stars because overall, it just wasn't, I don't know, as exciting as I wanted it to be. And again, maybe it's because I read the first two books back to back, so they were both together very thrilling, whereas this book was not as thrilling. And okay, as for the ending, Sel is the Shadow King's son, whatever that means. I think Bree is supposed to think that she exchanged her real memories for Alice's life. You know what I mean? So I think that she is supposed to feel guilty and hopeless about how the Shadow King told her that she put Alice into a coma, and now Alice coming back to life is even less of a possibility as it used to be. But I think that in the fourth book, Alice will come back. Like, all is not lost. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think will happen in the fourth book. Alice will come back. It'll be fine. Second of all, like I said earlier, I don't really ship Nick and Bree together, but, like, I see the potential for that romance. As for Sel, I like him back. He needed more screen time in this book. I knew that he wouldn't get screen time in this book, but I wanted him to, you know what I mean? Basically, what I didn't like about this book was William's perspective. Didn't care for it at all. I preferred the second half of this book to the first half. Like, once Nick and Bree finally reunited, the book really picked up for me. I felt like the first half kind of dragged, and it was kind of more boring than exciting. Like, I had to get through the first half to get to the second half, if that makes any sense. So, yeah. That's how I feel about this book. I rated it 3 stars. So, there you have it. So, in conclusion, as for the side characters in this book, I will say Mariah is my favorite. I don't really care about Sel's mom that much. Like I said, William and Welkin are such boring, almost unnecessary characters to me. They just feel like vessels, you know? Vessels for the plot, for the context, for the background of, like, that side of the magic and everything. You know what I mean? Anyway, as for the fourth book, I hope that we get to see Zoe and Elijah again. I'm curious as to what will happen next regarding Sel's new identity, Nick and Bree's, I guess, relationship, romance, I guess. I don't know what else is gonna happen next for them romantically. Like I said, I don't really ship them, but I'm curious as to how, like, the next events, whatever will happen next, will impact their relationship, like, from a writer's perspective. I don't know if that makes any sense, and I don't know if it sounds like I'm just trying to justify why I don't ship them. I just prefer Sel and Bree together, but I knew that entering this book, I knew that Bree and Sel would not end up together at all. You know what I mean? Anyway, I hope that Alice comes back alive. I hope to see more moments with Bree and her family. I'm so glad her memories are back. I hate the amnesia trope. I think that's another reason why I didn't like this book. Just because, like, the amnesia trope, or, like, I guess she didn't lose all of her memories, but she lost, like, the most important parts of them. So, yeah, that was rather disappointing to me. But, like, from the bad guy's perspective, I guess, I understand why he did it. Because if you take away the people that you care about, like, emotionally, you give room to think about things logically instead of thinking about things emotionally. But obviously, for humanity, you should have both emotions and logic, and emotions humanize you. Anyway, I'm speaking to the choir here. Basically, those are my theories and my predictions for book 4. I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars. Like I said earlier, it felt disappointing to me. So, with that said, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that my thoughts for this book do not parallel yours. I hope that all of the readers who are also really excited for this book enjoyed it way more than I did. So anyway, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the diamond emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!